give a if you simply see it as like putting a black square on your Instagram, right? If you look at if your advocacy for Palestinians just revolves around saying that you're anti-genocide and that's it, but you don't actually give a you actually don't give a real about the children that are being murdered on a daily fucking basis, then yeah, you can hyper focus on the drama aspect of it all. But there are still plenty of people who do actually care about this. That's why this needle has shifted so dramatically in the direction of Palestinians.
Happen? What are you still going to be talking about Hassan a year from now? Are you going to be talking about Hassan 2 years from now? Or are you going to pick the political lane and cover the news and give your opinion? Or are you going to go back to doing some like semi-comedy type shit? You got to pick a lane and you got to do it. But like, even from a personal perspective, bro, like if you're engaging in this sort of shit, you got to feel horrible. Like you got to feel like shit. Like there's nothing fulfilling about arguing for 4 or 5 hours with somebody you used to be friends with about petty shit. Like, who cares?
That's what I'm saying, bro. Even as the drama channel, like I was sitting there like, this is completely pointless. This is the opposite of productive. Nothing is being accomplished here. These people are not.
Your channel will fall like the Ottoman Empire did. Asman is tired of winning. Mal-Marxism detected. Mal-Marxism detected. Okay, don't ban guys like that. That guy's funny.
Not even like making amends or anything. It's just ugly. I did not enjoy it. I frankly couldn't stand watching that debate. I had to turn it off at a certain point. I had to like rage quit. It was just so uncomfortable. And again, we love drama over here. We don't shy away from that stuff at all.
Yeah. But you know, to your point, it's got to serve a broader purpose, right? There's got to be some core in there that's actually about politics,
team deathmatch,
or morality, or
eliminate all threats.
It can't just be hatred for the sake of hatred. It's just, that really is like the worst of people, you know?
Yeah, and it seems like, you know, Hassan's kind of, you know, at least been effective in, you know, drumming up a lot of, you know, attention to these issues. And I want to get your perspective on the fact that he was detained for questioning when he got back from France. So he was in France for a few days interviewing the socialist over there for his main channel. And when he got back,
I used to not like you and would have been a perfect candidate.
Destroying RCX state. Get out, frag! Sniper, find cover!
This happens a lot more than people think. This is precisely the reason why I do what I do, for the record. Because the greatest antidote to vicious smears is for someone to take that journey, take that first step on their own. Not many people do, but the ones who
heads down, sniper working.
Very quickly realize.
Sniper smoke! Move!
You can only maintain this position if you just stay in your echo chamber and keep
eyes on it
from your echo chamber.
In LAX, I believe. They stopped him for like politics. Now, Hassan is a U.S. citizen. I believe he was born in New Jersey, so he has every bit the rights that everyone else.
Enemy UAV inbound.
U.S. soil about his be like, hell yeah, I fuck with the mods. Like, hell yeah, the Houthis are and back into the country. Peace activist. I'm a pacifist. I want, you know, the bloodshed to end. Is that something you've ever experienced as a high-profile political? You know, you have a profile as well.
Actually, it's an honest question. Is what you're doing working? In that time, things have only gotten worse. That's not a correlation. I'm just saying that's really working here. Yes, of course it's working. Because there was never. If you are aware of online communities and online spaces for people,
sniper smoke! Move!
Aware of online communities and online 2014, 2015. As an out and about leftist who is one of the largest content creators.
Hostile shooter!
That I'm on currently. And yes, plenty of opinions have shifted. Okay, sure, but there was also nothing like Asman. That's
eyes on enemy!
very popular. But if you think Hasan is doing something not reinventing at all, he's actually doing something that many political or centrist, and refusing to entertain nuance, and simultaneously and consistently engaging in thought-terminating cycles, and thought-terminating terms. Tim Pool maintained the
Net call. Sleeper agent detected.
it's a classic move.
I've never experienced it, but am I nervous about
down.
it? Yeah. I've talked about this before, because when they're, Palestine protesters, like, who are some of the loudest, most open, anti-Israel, anti-genocide voices? I don't know if anybody's covered it. Like, the amount of hours I've
Flashbang incoming! Enemy Molotov!
of the new America there. They don't care. Like, they don't care about the They do something, and then the courts have to play catch up.
Flashbang incoming! Taking fire!
In the position I'm in, and many of us are in, like, you'd be sort of crazy not to at least have the conversation about, hey, should we maybe rent a place that's now they've arrested
MTC's nearly dry. Get serious, Crimson.
Enemy Molotov incoming!
being locked in a gulag in El Salvador with no due process. Wake up and realize this can literally
Enemy
happen
CUAV
at
inbound.
any time.
Hostile UAV established overhead.
I'm not surprised they did that. And in all disappear, what would happen? We get the same sort of Garcia, but here we are today. Kilmar still hadn't been released, and they still got him locked up. And nobody's not wrong.
But it would be
You lost the fugitives. Langley, won't you please?
Moving to evac point! Situation's full bar!
But I'm also an American citizen born on U.S. soil that has a public profile, a large public
Enemy PID. Got a sniper in the AO.
why the
Percussion
backlash
grenade.
would be far more. And I think the Trump administration does that as well. for the record. Part of the reason why the reflect this to say, oh, we didn't target him for his political opinions is for that reason, because they are worried about backlash if there is news coverage, more and more news coverage that comes out saying that in deliberate targeting of people's political opinions, that will cause a lot more anger and resentment from the normal average people that aren't paying close attention to what's going on. Does that make sense?
Nobody's going down for it. And so this is where we're at now, guys. And this is why the both side shit has to die. The false equivalent shit has to die. There is nothing held sacred for these people. They are out and out fascists. They're doing a robber baron coup. They are insane warmonger imperialists. And this is just the beginning. Hasan getting questioned and them pressing him on his politics, that is just the beginning, bro. ICE is already in Tennessee. They parked on the highway and just started pulling over random people, and they took 100 and
He's right.
deported them. And these are, a lot of these people, by the way, are deputized into being ICE. So these are like random Proud Boys that are like, yeah, I'll round up some Mexicans for you. This is where we are, man. Like, this is where we are. And it's going to get, it's as bad as it is now, it's going to get way worse. And by the way, one more thing, we're, Crystal and I are trying to have Hasan on Crystal Kyle and Friends this week to talk to him about what happened to him.
Oh, that'll be awesome. I'm very excited to.
That's an abrupt ending. All right. Let's get the Trump arriving at the middle. Oh, first, I was going to talk about Sam Cedar's analysis.
Kill confirmed.
And
Playtime's
then I'm gonna
over.
move Donald Trump
Let's see what
into
you're
the
made
Middle
of.
East.
I did not know about H3 until Ethan contacted me. And that
Unk.
is really the extent of my knowledge.
Can we take a break? When do we get orange
taking
slices?
control.
I don't want to say it was
Hey, incoming lethal!
like an issue, frankly, like a political issue, and I think there's some element of that, but I think Ethan has some challenges that he's working on. But, you know, that's for him to deal with. I just
Sam is being humble. He really
TACOM, get a care package on my grid.
Hey, incoming lethal!
What the f is going on with his audio? Philly D. Thumbo.
Hassan Piker at O'Hare International Airport in Chicago, and I don't care if you love it, you don't know who the hell this government's global entry program.
This is a longer. It's a longer.
Second search line.
Uber called into it.
RCXD deployed.
Bill says, "I wish I was kidding." This is what I mean. This is the intersection of drama and journalism. That is insane, dude. That is insane. That was unironically my old heads know. Why I pulled out of the toxicity of debate spaces wasn't because I was bad at it, okay? Which I admit, I'm
There's
not
an
the best
enemy
at it.
shooter! Okay, this is kind of fun. I can do battle.
Was specifically
Alpha, Tango, battle, hey, incoming lethal!
Democratic Party. I believe that was what it was about.
RCXD rolling out.
At that time, I was like collaborating with Destiny a lot. And chatters, like crossover chatters, were coming in to try and debate setting. That was insane. Commentator, this person was the primary source on the issue that he's speaking on. The idea that you are going to get Loner Box to debate Jeremy Steele in a award-winning reporter that has poured his entire life into covering issues in the Middle East, like spent most of his adult life doing this. The idea that like some random YouTuber is
Oh, these guns are so heavy.
ridiculous, so ridiculous of sex pestiny. It's almost. Oh, was this the one? No, this wasn't it. This wasn't. This is not.
Tactical incoming.
Hey, incoming lethal!
Fools parasocial fans into thinking you are attacking him, and therefore you should support her also bad. He's not fighting with you because you guys don't get along. Zionism. I think Zionism contributes to it, but if you think that it's not. I don't think he's.
The higher I get, the better I shoot.
Certainly both.
Archangel going hot. You're falling behind.
my pawn, Ida. At my command, literally
made a video laughing at Ethan Klein for the CPS thing. Finally, someone is talking about the CPS thing as it should be. How do I know this? Even though given that and I've been here the whole time.
Enemy field upgrade. Not good.
That happening to you, Ethan. It's me.
Incoming lethal!
For some reason, things absolutely consume me.
Shoot me? Oh, wait. I guess you are.
And then me and others mocking him for the fact that he is
Using lethal.
Driving RTSD.
How dare you say that? He talked about his... No, you're right. The funny thing too is that I said that in the video that I made responding to him talking about me.
Hostile RTSD in your AO.
God, is that blood? Nobody told me there would be blood.
Something that he factually said on his podcast, which was, my kids are crawling in shit, they're eating shit, they are jardy. Because I sent him the clips. But like, it's good to see a normal person looking like, oh my god, people get a false CPS score on. Here's the thing, if the CPS score actually
Backup's not coming. You want to get out of this alive? Better step up.
Set himself on his fucking show in front of tens of thousands of people, and anyone who talked about what he said on his fucking show is totally justified in doing so. How my whole family has a parasite from eating shit. Ethan Klein wouldn't laugh at that. Yes, he fucking would. It's fucking normal. Like, you're in a feud with someone and they start talking about embarrassing, oversharing shit that just paints them in a fucking horrible light. Right after they make shit up about you, oh, fuck yeah, I am going to fucking respond to you. Yeah, he didn't want people to talk about
using lethal.
Dog. You shouldn't have said in your podcast that you all like dog shit and got parasites. Anyway, let's look at my porn iDubbbz talking about this.
And then right next to that, right after it, you got with people who are doing this, who are harassing you.
Do you have evidence that H3 Snark called CPS on you?
Did I say that? Did I say that?
You fucking me? Activate catchback protocol.
Wow,
Get your
I
ass
am
back
way
to
too
base.
blazed for this right now.
Like he initially was like, Snark called CPS on us, Bad and Banana called CPS on us, Denim's called CPS on us, Hassan called CPS on us. And now it's like, I never said it's not these people are refuting me because I keep supporting genocide. It's these people are harassing me. Help, help, send legal letters to them. YouTube report, mass report them now. Get the ADL involved. Same thing with the CPS call. The self-campaign wasn't working, so he made up a fucking CPS call, or at least played up what ultimately is not a big fucking deal. Because getting a visit from CPS is not a big fucking deal for legitimately neglecting your kids. It's not a fucking swatting. Not even close. Give us a fucking...
I said they're primary responsible for harassing me.
Who called CPS?
Who?
What the fuck? So I don't know.
You don't know, yet you've accused so many fucking people of it.
To be honest, I'm very proud that I didn't immediately jump to Ethan and Neela's defense, because when you look into the story, it actually looks a lot shittier for...
Oh my God, that's a great turn of phrase. I'm so glad I made him make this. He's good now. I hated him last video, but this is a good one. I got my money's worth here.
Neela. And I do mean that literally. There was this H3 stream where Ethan was dumping as per usual. He was talking about his own health. He was talking about his caca breath.
You should not fucking talk about this on your fucking YouTube. It's so weird. Like, Ethan Klein, Hila Klein, their fans, like, consider themselves like a part of the family. I think they literally call themselves family, if I'm not mistaken. Building a platform of literally like having such a direct parasocial relationship, venting about your personal life, the most minute details of your personal life, it's just so fucking weird and irresponsible, especially when you have kids. Especially when you have kids. Like, he brought the kids onto his show as well. That is fucking out there and disgusting.
his dog having diarrhea, his dog...
Why would you talk about me? Have you guys ever fucking heard me just randomly come on my stream and start being like, oh, guys, let me tell you about my latest bowel movement. Here's all the things that I did today. Let me tell you about every single individual in my life, just in case you ever wanted to dox anyone who knows me. You know, let me just give you every possible detail about my fucking every move, every little thing that I do. You want to know about how many times I pissed today? That is what Ethan Klein's podcast is like. And it's so fucking bizarre.
Deathmatch.
It's so weird that he
Eliminate
does it.
all threats.
having giardia.
Olive has giardia. It's a bacterial infection in the intestines that makes you have diarrhea.
Someone should make a movie about this. Or even better, someone should make a video game about it. Wait.
I'm so glad that he is someone with a big following is debunking this ridiculous CPS narrative at my behest, of course. I knew it was going to happen because I told him to.
The whole family possibly giardia.
And now Ela has giardia.
Shut. For real?
What can I do to not get it?
Yeah, I'm
trying to get it.
No, it's extremely ridiculous to get. You have to ingest my
20 fucking times.
Shit.
And all the meanwhile, he's covered in viscous, low.
Like, we think that was the same guy. If anyone actually called CPS, all that they had to do was recount what you said in this clip to make CPS. This is enough. It wasn't false at all. Like,
Damn it,
complaining
we've
about
lost the
this is
lead.
like, it's not the same because obviously getting a visit from CPS is not a threat to you at all unless you're a neglectful parent. It's like saying on a live stream.
Enemy field upgrade.
Like, hey, did you say in your live stream you're gonna kill someone?
Oh, hey, actually, do you guys want to buy some pottery?
Stop spotted. Planning to murder someone. Fucking false report is crazy. It's fucking crazy. Given that he said this on his fucking stream, just verbatim. It's not a.
Heads down. Sniper working.
Which, to be clear, no evidence of. It was with cause, clearly. You know, Ethan was like. You know why you know? It's not a false call, obviously. It would be fucking laughed at. They wouldn't even be able to file it. Like, everyone involved would laugh at them. The judge who was asked if they should go to trial or something, they would get nowhere because it's fucking.
Oh, sure. Shoot the funny man. Real classy.
Viscosity. Crazy diarrhea.
Enemy must be eliminated.
So fucking funny when if you're at all a normal person, not out to.
You wash your hands as best you can, but
Just to be clear, Ethan said he's going to report this. You know why it never happened? You know why he hasn't done that? It would never happen. He sent them to himself. Victim. None of what he said he's going to do to like get to the bottom of this, to hold people who supposedly did him to him accountable, is ever going to happen because none of it ever happened. He's not suing North Soundson either, by the way, just to make that clear. This whole debate thing, I have contacts in the debate
You could probably turn this thing into a bomb.
Nothing else. He's not going to do fucking shit. He's not going to report anyone to the government.
Yo, watch it!
To anyone. He's a bag of hot air. All that he can do is threaten. He never takes actual action because he knows he's wrong. It's all a strategy to distract.
extremely foul,
so much.
smelling diarrheas.
I'm the only one who's been playing this clip. IDub's absolutely right for me.
So many enemies over the years, other people react to his content. And when other people see that he's talking about
Maybe I should not have smoked before entering heavy combat, but oh well.
At that age, he has Giardia.
Are quite
Enemies have disarmed the string mine.
So, yes, anyone who's seeing that content call CPS, including Ethan's own chat, which, by the way, is not a...
Literally all expressing the same concern that everyone else did.
6,000 at the time of this stream.
Oh my
so there
God,
are
I didn't
26,000
even
Enemy
finish
foot patrol!
It's fucking brilliant. Kaka Kleins.
people listening to Ethan go into great detail.
The Kleins are very human centipede. Get this man a bubble. How does that happen? Everyone got missing the Oregon Trail in your house.
Over 7 or 8 minutes about diarrhea, viscosity of diarrhea, his child having Giardia, him and his whole family having.
Oh, he's gonna make another main channel video about. He mentioned that in Bernardo. He's gonna make a whole another. He mentioned that.
Back destroyed!
See this and have a fucking meltdown if he hasn't already. He's probably already. Let me check his Instagram stories. Right? He posted a story saying, it's okay. They're gonna make like $50,000 from this video. Probably they've made $100,000 in ad revenue alone from these two videos. I think they're gonna be pretty okay, Ethan. You know what? They should just milk you. If they can get 6 million views shitting on you, they should just keep making Ethan Klein videos. I'm gonna tell iDubbbz that. I'm gonna pitch it to him.
They're calling it the poop house. Now, what Ethan does, instead of taking any responsibility,
Look out! I am Seth Rogen, motherfuckers!
Like, I went live and people knew that I had kids, and I started talking about how my kids were eating shit and they got parasites from eating shit. And then I wouldn't blame anyone else for that but me. I'd be like, yeah. Victim. He never takes responsibility for anything. Nothing is ever his fault. He's never wrong. Everyone else is victimizing him, actually. He's a fucking child. He's a 40-year-old baby.
is that he decides to attack specific creators like Denim's and say she was the source of the CPS call because her chat was reacting to Ethan and saying, wow, this is concerning.
Is on her platform right now for our children to be forcibly removed from us by Child Protective Services.
Ethan has proven to be a legitimate.
Hostile sighted.
So when you call on me to defend him, what the fuck am I doing? I don't trust you, and I'm glad I didn't trust you.
Destroyed.
Providing no evidence of this, and he's been milking it so fucking much that it's ridiculous. The second assumption should be that if someone didn't what he said during this podcast and he has no one to blame for it.
Arming spring mine.
It really is that simple.
Hostile long gun.
And if anything, the CBS thing, like, honestly, if it did happen, it's the best thing that happened to him because it allowed him to endear himself to like his new far-right audience, like the Asmongols and the QXCs of the world, who were already like these complete morons with no business talking about politics, who were just waiting for a reason to jump on side against Hassan Piker and against the left and against Palestinians and for genocide.
Crimson's on their heels. Hit them hard.
On the back foot, getting totally fucked on the actual arguments, and suddenly, oh, I'm a victim of CPS, which even if he did get called by, even if CPS did visit him, obviously he's not a victim.
You used a video that takes context from like 3 different places and combines them to make it seem like someone is coordinating an attack.
I made a good point. You said, is this unedited?
Infect's incoming.
Oh, I see you.
Bravo fucking do this, Black Ops.
Are you on shrooms? Am I on shrooms?
No, this is an edit. It's a cutout of the full chat. It's just enlarged.
Oh, really?
Over the screen, yeah.
They're different, I think.
Yeah.
It's not time.
But it sounds like
Hostile flash.
anyway. Ethan Klein uses this
If I told him, I will shit that Ethan has made up about me is so fucking unhinged and based on literally nothing. He never provides any evidence for it. It's a lot worse than that.
To make it seem like
Ethan doesn't even try to make up evidence for the shit that he claims about me. He just has nothing.
that's all of Denham's chat. But that's not what it is. And then when he's called out, he hides it. He moves his window over the real chat.
Also, this is not a joking matter, but it can be very severe and deadly to small children.
I never even noticed that. He literally moved himself to cover.
Much like many other illnesses,
Reading the chat, co-signing
it's very, very, very dangerous.
Now pay attention to her chat.
Have a housekeeper anymore.
Bad empanada appearance.
He lost his extra housekeeper. So now the house is just like covered in dog shit. And he has kids, and his kids like,
why does it have to be anyone else's fault but your own?
What I said in that clip is fundamentally, is literally, like, it's an accurate recounting of what Ethan himself said in his podcast. It's so fucking comical that he ever had the gall to complain about it. And to be clear again, I was responding to Ethan Klein spending 20 minutes, like, shitting on me in his podcast, in which he accused me of, like, being an internationally wanted pedophile rapist. Like, give me a fucking break.
Take some fucking responsibility.
Like, in response to what he did to me, I would have been warranted making shit up about him, to be clear, because he made shit up about me. But I didn't. I stuck to the facts because unlike him, there's absolutely nothing that he can use to attack me with. That is a fact. So I can cite facts about him and he has to make shit up about me. But I would have been warranted making up shit about him, given that he was making shit up about me, like very serious stuff, like he's an internationally wanted criminal.
It's just so bizarre that Ethan would expect Anise and I to make a statement when Denham's herself already made a statement about it and said that she does not condone calling CPS.
So we're talking about CPS. One, I don't condone. Two, I've never condoned it, and you will not be able to find a clip of me saying, yes, we should do this, because it doesn't exist. I've literally given Ethan Klein credit on multiple times or multiple instances, and
Team deathmatch.
For not
Destroy the enemy.
Oh man, that aged fucking poorly. That aged so fucking poorly. Like a week ago he had his fucking...
We got the lead. Now hold it.
You know, explains what he's doing. After previously having a policy of specifically not doing because he knew how
open, Ethan.
Well, you know I'm very open about everything as part of how I wanted to conduct myself and how I wanted to relate. Be open.
Ethan was just sharing his thoughts. We were expecting.
There's no speculation. This is not speculation. This is, he's making, like, fucking... You can't fucking retcon this later to act like people are retroactively bad who are taking you at your word here, okay?
Putting everything in his mouth. He's at that age. He has Giardia. And now Ela has Giardia.
Shut.
Be open as possible about everything in my life.
Really? How many siblings do you have?
I don't know, dude. That's too fucking weird to give out all that information.
Oh, you don't even want to say how many because you're afraid.
On top of Ethan characterizing me and my wife as anti-Semitic, he also takes a dig at my tattoos.
Bro, you literally...
Oh my god, Ethan.
From a windy thing, bro. Like, literally, my kids have cool fucking...
Yo, watch it!
Looks like he just... That one, and that one.
I have or I can show that your tattoo made it to the top of awful taste but great execution subreddit, which is not a good, I mean, it might be a good thing for the artist that you work
Waterfront operator establishing score streak.
Yeah, I mean, he fucking got him hard. He fucking absolutely got him. The CPS narrative is falling apart now. The eternal victim narrative is falling apart, isn't it? I'm glad that
TACOM, we're flying on cue. UAV returning to base.
so that we can get the truth out to millions upon millions of people. Make sure that
I am not made for this. I do ceramics.
These guys didn't even fucking know about the fucking Kosovo Clinton song until I fucking. This is stolen from me. Where are my royalties? Put some clothes on. I am not happy with this. I'm going to be a lawyer immediately. This was stolen.
Greetings.
The reason why I could make this song is because I had intimate knowledge of Balkan politics, so I knew that it existed, and I knew how to make it.
New channel that viewers know as Bad Empanada. The Bad Empanada foreign influence operation. Ethan Klein for his help in bringing our operation to prominence. We have long been working to destroy American values. Exponential rate, higher than ever before. Each viewer he loses. Each viewer we gain is one more exposed to a sleeper agent ready to act on our signal on a moment's notice. The work has done recently to help bring down America, and Israel has been exemplary. That we even wrote a song for him. Those of us at
I hope I don't die. That would be super not good.
The code word that will spur you into taking action for our purposes against your will.
Phone line disrupted.
To add on to the point of Ethan making shit up about me, well, I stick to things that he actually has factually said and done. Like the very first time Ethan ever mentioned me was in response to me making a video with Bunker. Was to hold up a fake tweet to the screen on his phone and accuse me of child sex crimes. No fucking joke. And this guy has the gall to say that I did something.
Oh, I see you. Using lethal.
His kids eating it on his own podcast. You fucking piece of shit moron. You're a disgusting. By the way, he's about to be declared legally a defamer by courts in California. So yeah, I stick to the facts on Ethan because you don't need to go aside from the facts. And all that Ethan can do is, how dare you cite facts about me that I did to you? While he gets
There's an enemy shooter! It's not in my contract. Where is it?
I never forget a debt.
You ever notice that? It's because we're not fucking.
Hey, when do I get to drive a tank? Is that a thing?
Yourself to Ethan Klein. The living refutation of meritocracy.
This is my Albanian dance. This is how they dance in Albania. Anyway, yeah, he stole that song from me. I need my royalties. Anyway, CPS narrative debunked. Probably never happened. If it did, there's a billion fucking reasons that would have all been valid for someone to call, given what Ethan Klein is fucking bullshit. Don't
Good stuff.
No medals for second place. Crush those dirtbags.
Just tired of Ethan putting words in people's mouths, man. It's really pissing me off. It's like, I'm against this. Oh, so you're an anti-Semite. You're saying you hate Jews. It's like, no.
God damn, not. I love the chance of victory. Don't tell Sierra.
This is my first time doing warfare. I'm here to answer the call calling in Score Street.
Detained at the airport. Yeah, guys, I made the call.
I never said Asmongold is the reason. What? I like that these guys live in their own little bubble where they say stuff like this. No, I never said Asmongold. I said that the type of shit that Asmongold and Redditors would bring up were being brought up in the line of questioning by the federal government, which I thought personally was insane, right? Because you would assume that the investigations that the Customs and Border Patrol or the Department of Homeland Security are conducting would be a little bit more informed than like a Redditor. Bro, everyone is jumping to be the villain in your story. It's insane. I know. I don't know how. Did I even mention Asmongold name in this? I don't even know. I might have said that like the type of questioning that came from a Customs and Border Patrol officer was like a slop tuber. You really can't do anything without someone getting pissed off. I know. It's because there's an entire ecosystem designed around dumb who don't know anything, who don't even understand the consequences of this kind of behavior from the federal government and how that might impact them or a loved one in the future, just simply are in it for drama and clicks. Journalists are going, this is not normal. Very frustrating that stupidity is rewarded over and over and over again, okay? You can't even get your rights violated without some moron chirping, bro. I really do not envy you. I know. I guess you don't believe in free speech, which we knew already. He does not.
Can you believe the levels of oppression that we have today?
Gotten me arrested is insane. And I genuinely in that moment was thinking like, these dumbass slop tubers are actually playing with fire. And I even thought,
really playing with fire. Okay.
What about yes, they are. By the way, I like that Asmongold immediately assumed I was talking about him when I said slop tubers. I guess he knows that that he is a slop tuber.
Loud and proud slop tuber, Asmongold.
The government is utilizing lists from Beitar to actually conduct unlawful detentions and deportations of student activists. The fact that the federal government is literally conducting investigations that basically revolve around like slop tuber drama is alarming. It's still crashing out pure cinema. This is, oh my God. Oh, chatter. I am a political commentator talking about my own personal unlawful detention by Customs and Border Patrol, which is a matter that has escalated so severely that international news is covering it because it is unprecedented in its nature, while simultaneously talking about the dangers of what this means for the future of all Americans, okay, in a country where the government is saying that they want to deny habeas corpus. This is my job. It happens to be a unique instance where it's not only my job, but it's also something that I have personally experienced. This is not a crash out. This is called political commentary. I know that so many of you are so firmly locked in on drama and slop and can't understand news and commentary and news coverage without thinking everything is drama or without thinking everything is slop. It's very frustrating about not even mentioning this because I was like, I don't want to give him any.
Okay, so that's the first lie here. Does anybody actually believe that he actually thought of not mentioning this?
He actually instantly tweeted about it and since then reposted it dozens of times.
The reality of the matter is 100% the Trump administration is working with a lot of these dipshits. These
That's right. I made the call yesterday when
no. Oh my God. Oh my God. It's extra frustrating because not only is this incredibly stupid, okay, but it's extra frustrating because I know the audience is incredibly stupid and they don't have
domination. Secure the objective.
Is listen to
Locking down Charlie.
Hold them back.
My opinion here is the unique nature of the
Zone C secure.
interest in violating people's constitutionally protected First Amendment rights.
Losing B.
It's not only serious. Example that I used in my commentary yesterday. The Trump administration's central command used targeting.
We're losing Charlie. Taking B.
Netherlands, they ended up killing 8 civilians in Yemen because one of the
Secured.
Semtex, have fun.
We've claimed the advantage. Now hold it. Losing Bravo.
a random area in Yemen. The State Department has actively worked with organizations like
Bravo locked. Securing B. They've taken the lead.
That's the reason why she almost got deported. So shocking and so alarming. Of course, talk about this from the perspective of these guys do not understand anything.
Taking Bravo underway.
Got one.
France or whatever. And I was like, no, all right, we've got our chance. He's going to be coming back in a day or so.
Get it, Jack.
They're taking C.
Yes! That's
Locked.
promoting tip on the platform. That's
So wait, he proved the point that I was
Securing Alpha.
We want that. We want this to happen. We want the federal government
Zone A
to
secure.
we don't like the speech. What an insane statement. What's the argument here? That you want me to be in fucking federal This is the type of shit that should instantly
Heads up, Molotov inbound.
you mean? You want
Locking down Bravo.
and like his commentary on American foreign policy? What kind of free speech absolutism is this? You're not a free speech absolutist at all.
Taking Bravo underway.
Marking down the air. Semtex, foot.
It's just simply drama, how much the algorithm will see more than the biggest slop boss, I know. Where they personally
Locking down Bravo.
you at the start of all this and extended charitability on almost all occasions until you continue to slander him. What do you expect? Back at the end of the day, what are you talking about? I've never. You understand that? He's been calling for my ban and now has calling for.
Securing B.
Get it, Jack.
Taking B.
Hold them back.
One day, if it can happen to me, okay, a person with an.
Locking down Bravo.
Your trophy system was eliminated.
Charitability from Asmongold or whatever. Packing up people that he personally has a distaste for their opinions. Like, what do you mean? Yeah, if Asmongold
Taking B.
flew out, came back into the country under his personal politics, do you think that his audience would not talk about how much of a culture backed movement was taking place here? Of course they would lose their minds. They would understandably lose their minds. You want to know why I know that? Because people People on Twitter get mad at Asmongold, and he cuts content about how he's been canceled over and over again, and millions of people cry alongside him. This is not a cancellation. This is a violation of the First Amendment rights that every American citizen has.
In my last video about Cobra, we discussed how he was kind of spiraling inside of his mobile home sarcophagus that he resides within and never leaves. And it's only gotten worse. Surprise, surprise. He is kind of decaying in front of us, and it's no surprise if you've watched any of my videos or other people's coverage of Cobra, but I feel like in the past 6 months or so, things have sort of rapidly declined much worse or at a faster rate than previously. His hair is falling out a lot more, or at least he's getting more bald, and his teeth are just in a state of literal no repair. He has plus 1,000 poison damage on you, and if you come within 5 feet of him, watch out, buddy. And so we're gonna go over some of his food hacks and see how our goth lord is doing. All right,
we got an order from McDonald's, ba-da-ba-ba, Irish Burger King, and I'm loving it, not a sponsor. When I got my order, I did not receive the hot picatine salsa or the McCrispy strip dip, so I had to do a second DoorDash order to get my creamy chili McCrispy sauce and the hot piccanini salsa, whatever. So it's all good. We got it now. We got the goods. Okay, those are the empty bags. Oh shit. We got the goods, son.
So because they left behind some of the sauces he needed, and he even explains a little bit later, he thinks that they still didn't have the right things, missing mayo, missing other things like that. He had to put in a second order, guys. And the real explanation is, surprise, surprise, this is a double feature for you. We are doing 2 food hacks in one video, bam. And it's because he decided to get a shit ton of the new chicken strips that McDonald's has or whatever, and he's doing 2 different food hacks with it. We also see at some point he got crumble cookies. There's a crumble cookie container on the table. This man is just burning through money, and Clint could not care less. You know, his lovely little boy staying inside of his metal sarcophagus, he's doing a grand old time spending. Who knows? I mean, DoorDash is alarmingly expensive anytime I have had to use it in the past, and to think that this guy's getting 6 items all at once and then ordering it to his house. I mean, this meal alone probably costs
Overdrive.
And he's doing that.
Teach those pathetic crimson bastards a lesson.
It is just, oh boy, but don't worry.
I see you.
That's why.
Let's food hack with them. Let's open the goods.
Contact. Confirming kill.
And the thing about bloating at the very least, right? I have a feeling that the copious amount of drinking he's doing all by himself, the lack of vitamins he's consuming, the dog shit food he eats every single day, it's not combining into a great feature, you know. In the past, Josh, when he was working at Wendy's or he was just doing things outside, at the very least he would walk places or ride his bike when he had his bike. Now he's getting no exercise, he's getting no sunlight.
Come on, you're losing this fight.
Foods, and
we definitely don't have this stuff in Canada.
It's
nice. We're pulling ahead.
Competitor here in the
Clear. Sniper's down.
Burger I like to call the McStripper. All that tartar sauce on that. That Dame Drops talks about your hood creations. Well, Cobra's got a hood creation right here, man.
Hostile sighted.
Really makes me wish that, you know, he would have pushed the cult feature a little further.
Sniper's down. Move up.
Music album. Do some things like that. Create some, I don't know, like statues of, I don't know. What would the statue be in the King Cobra cult? Who knows?
This shit ain't working. We've lost the advantage.
It's just like, I don't know.
Too old to
Come
be
on,
playing
you're
these
losing
fucking
this fight.
upgrade. Destroy.
We got the lead. Now hold it.
What if I put a chicken sandwich on my burger? Whoa, that's crazy. Understandably, the man starts to get irate. He is very upset because
Watch out, they got a sniper!
This man, he spent several years getting his engineering degree so that he could these monstrosities for the internet to enjoy. And then
I've heard of the war on comedy, but this is ridiculous.
And that is just
Oh, I see you.
Inbound.
I will be talking about this on my podcast. Sniper working!
You know, if you look in the background, yeah, there's some knick-knack things going on. It doesn't look like it's, you know, piling up.
There's an enemy shooter! You guys try talking it out instead of the whole fighting and shooting thing.
Keeping up order with things, but you see, there's a man who doesn't shower, who doesn't wash his teeth, who
We've
doesn't
taken
change his
control.
clothes, and gets dirt and grime and grease all over him all the time, and just wanders around. He's just
Using
carrying this
Archangel.
puff bubble of dirt and grime and disgustingness all over the place. So you might not be able to see it, but it's kind of like one of those clips you might see where somebody goes to a public bus seat and they hit it with a broom and a bunch of fart particles.
Hostile
start
sighted.
flying. That's what I would imagine all of the furniture, all the features of Josh's trailer would kind of be like if he was doing some investigation. We all know this man's not vacuuming the floor. You think he's dusted since he's been there?
Enemy RCXD detected.
Oh, I see you.
Here's the thing, though, right? Like, living such a simplistic lifestyle, you would think that the inconveniences wouldn't really push you over the limit. But then again, you start thinking about it, and you're like, well, he actually doesn't do anything. So if anything occurs in his daily life that's out of the norm,
Hostile sighted.
downward spiral. You know, it's going to be a difficult thing to claw. Driving traffic, or maybe waiting in line at a grocery store or at a fast food place. You know, you gotta learn patience. And Josh never learned patience. He wants that instant gratification.
There's an enemy shooter! I probably should not be operating heavy.
Hostile RCXD. Here they are.
It's also kind of gross.
Hostile score streak spotted.
Wants to keep things nice and clean. We'll see in a second food hack a little bit better, but every time you can see he never cleans his nails, and it's because he never washes his hands, and because he never takes a shower. So he's just sucking the stuff out of his dirty ass fingers all the time. But don't worry, guys. A bunch of space.
Tactical incoming!
Took one bite of it. I got one massive. I'm gonna be eating the rest of this on camera.
Tactical.
Excess trash here. to apologize for getting angry earlier. I'm a bit hangry right at the moment, and when I'm hungry, I get grumpy as shit, so don't mind me, man. Overall, YouTube, I must say one thing. This burger is delicious.
And this is just modern consumerism.
Oh, I see you.
Show right here where the man has to wait the 30 minutes for his
Enemy field upgrade. Not good.
and he just gets fucking irate. He can't deal with that shit. What do you mean? I wouldn't know. Why did you let my door? I'm hungry. And that's, you know, if Josh grows up at some point in his life, he'll understand. Grocery shop.
Someone should make a movie about this. Or even better, someone should make a video game about this. Oh!
You go on your phone and buy a $5 meal for $40. I know, that's a crazy idea. Maybe one day he'll figure it out. It's kind of, you know, I call it the saturated hack. I don't know if you guys are caught up on this, but he loves hacking things, so maybe he'll pick up on that, and that would just be a great idea. I know. He mentions that this and that's why he took a single bite, or he took 2 bites, I guess, and he's gonna let it chill, and he'll have some of it later. I don't know how to support, like, fast food is window or inside the building when you go there, because otherwise it just turns into coagulated dog. Yeah, I don't really want this anymore. It's not worth my time, you know. You gotta eat it a little bit warm, and Josh's teeth, obviously, they're falling apart. I mean, I'm not gonna show I feel when I come back and edit it, but I got a close look at some of his teeth, and not only
RCXD
like
active.
black and brown,
Clock's ticking, Black Ops. Close this shit down.
There are sections that are literally blood, just like literally red spots of blood, and it's like anything with a tough texture or a strong
Enemy RCXD detected.
strong temperature. It's gonna throw his entire nervous system into a spiral. It's like that's a huge danger. I mean, this guy already lives a horrible lifestyle of smoking, drinking, eating like shit, but you're exposing everything. All of those things go through your mouth, and having terrible teeth can lead to other complications of health effects. So we'll see how that shakes out. But either way, we're back again with McDonald's food.
Hang on. Let me call Langley. Give him the good news.
Okay, this is kind of fun. I can do battle.
The first thing we're gonna do is just stick around. Because we're gonna make chicken strips.
You didn't think I was done, did you?
We got 2 different kinds of cheese, mozzarella and extra sharp cheddar cheese.
So that's the food hack. It is chicken tender nachos. Literally nothing here is giving me an indication of it being nachos. Now he'll add, you know, horseradish. He'll add a horseradish a little bit, and he'll add bacon bits and Doritos to it. But none of those things really remind me of a nice nacho. Now, in fairness, you know, a controversial take potentially from saturated content. Nachos, pretty terrible, right? You stack them with shit on them, and the best nachos I've ever had were a single flat layer of tortilla chips with cheese on top and a jalapeno on each chip. Best nachos I've ever had, because otherwise, if you stack them high, they're gonna get all soggy and all messed up. Nobody wants any of that shit, right? So maybe Josh is on to something. Maybe he's also come to that discovery and he's like, you know what? Replace the chips, put chicken tenders, put different cheeses that don't belong in nachos, and bada bing, bada boom, you got a delicious snack right there for you. And the best part is you spent all this money door dashing every ingredient, so you know it's just creme de la creme.
Taking 8 other chicken strips and adding Flavor Town to it. We could put maybe one more sprinkle on there. We don't want to go too heavy with it, you know, just enough.
And nothing says trying to keep your trailer clean like crushing up some Doritos on top and wiping the cheese onto your shirt.
Team deathmatch.
your trailer.
Destroy the enemy.
You gotta make sure it's pristine. We don't want crumbs. We don't want a mess anywhere. We can't deal with that. Ignore all the cheese and other particulates that are sitting on top of the counter. Ignore all that shit. It's also like the dude's getting.
The lead is up.
I'm fixing to end all you. At least the Bog Baby's coming in strong. Him and Ed in Cyrex's world, they're gonna, reunite. Maybe have a.
You're falling behind, Crimson.
That would be cute. I mean, I know Chad would turn up big time for that. You always hear those stories. Not anymore. Back in the day, ooh, you got a tummy.
Taking the lead. Stay on top.
Delicious. That'll help you. That'd be the way that Josh would raise a child, and I'm looking for maybe, that's a little bit further on, but I'm keeping that on the radar because I noticed it with Food Hack, but I'm band shirts, baby's coming, looking for some maternity clothes.
Hostiles reclaimed the lead.
That's just, that's saturated right there for you.
Some big ass jobs on there. That's the horseradish sauce. These chicken strips. And I had a bunch of other shit strips. Well, I guess we're gonna microwave it, yeah? Put all that cheese on top, man.
Yes, you can cheese, I understand. 5 minutes or so, and I don't get it. Is it something with his teeth? Is that the dilemma? Is that, and obviously, why are you focusing on that, Cedric? We're looking at a plate full of barbecue sauce, butter, horseradish, random McDonald's sauce on top of chicken fingers, and you're calling it a day, and you're focused on microwave.
We're winning. Keep it that way.
Trust me, this is a he's been sitting here for a day, and now he's getting my cover. Now you're putting buddy, and that was your problem with the burger. I don't want to question the expert. All right, I don't want to question it. I'm not a normal food for the most part. I'm getting concerned because I have a feeling it's gonna be hot. I'm slopping those down.
Very original. See, look at that cheese pull. Look at that cheese pull. Look at that chicken strip action. Oh shit.
Enemy UAV inbound.
Part 2. You're silly. Oh. Look at that cheese pull.
And this is the part I'm talking about. I'm not certain. Maybe editing saturated might change. Incoming! Absolutely revolting.
Citrus, LTBR incoming.
That's going to be a game time decision. Hostile shooter! We're going to have to figure out what this is. At this point, it's sad.
We've given up the lead.
Josh is one of the best ones in the entire world. Him pulling that
We've claimed the advantage. Now hold it.
That is one of the best times. And, I wish, sometimes I sit here and wish that he would come back with the live streams and he would come back with the comment section. Because it was open for and moved to a second time. And then he shut it back down because we were being bad boys and it's just we're taking one step down that staircase.
Vibing.
Who's that?
That is my roommate.
Let me see him.
Move it!
He looks like we could be friends. All right. Stand by.
RCXD maneuvering. Find cover!
Pretty good, huh?
I love it. I love it.
Oh my god!
Get a UAV on grid.
You guys didn't recognize me when I was jumping like a dolphin?
I'm so excited that I actually got to see you. If I see myself.
You want to go in the hall?
Incoming shot!
Alright, one Riz, and I'll put you in the Hall of Fame. You ready? Got you.
Spider-Man.
Target removed.
Let's move on to our big beautiful deal maker. Once again, making big beautiful deals. Let's talk about China. Donald Trump, as I told you he would, has
Let's go!
they could go back to business as usual. Trump and
Syntax, fuck that!
for it. Okay, let's take a look.
In addition, yesterday we achieved a total reset with China. Both sides now April 2nd to 10% for 90 days as negotiations continue on the larger structural issues. And I want to tell you that a couple of things. First one, that doesn't include the tariffs.
Enemy spring mine!
For the record, is because one, Trump, and then Trump trying to secure a victory that way. That's the art of the deal. That's a classic Trump. Stabilize.
Incoming stun!
For Cutie Cinderella, so shouts out to that. Now, with China, the efforts here are he wants to decouple
Get back here.
Other trading partners from China. But the real issue here wasn't necessarily the real pressure point was trade embargo. That made things very unsafe. That actually national security. When China said, well, we have refinement capabilities, we have a monopoly on refinement that are necessary for all, I mean, all of a sudden this became a real issue, okay? This became a matter of national security. So, fix that problem that he created for no reason. Yeah, here's Charles Gasparino from Fox Business, by the way. Incredibly critical of Trump's tariff regime throughout this entire process. Says,
Hold the line, Crimson. This is ours to lose.
China came just as the Republicans were on the precipice of disaster since they sourced so much of their material from China, and the containers coming from China were coming back. Why we were as desperate for a deal as
They never stood a chance. Proceed to extract kingdom.
Oh, hell yeah! That's how it's done!
Donald Trump for the economy and to own the libs. Well, there went my shoe business. I don't understand why the tariffs have to eliminate the de minimis exemption.
We got a sniper.
Fine. Steffi and I get one. Tariffs are still not gone, by the way. It is no longer like a de facto trade embargo, but there's still issues. Every major trader and investor.
How did I do so bad? I felt like I wasn't doing that bad, but I was.
Rather, we are back to square one with the country and kicking the tariff war can down the road that averts stagflation in the short term and maybe longer days. Yes, markets love trade capitulation. Yeah, it's the Trump up / subsequent cleanup. This is precisely what's taken place. All right. Some of the stated goals here are obviously very different than what the actual goals were. The actual goals were to try to apply pressure to China's other trade partners that we also trade with in an effort to decouple them from China. And he did not reach any success on that as far as I understand, considering that everyone was like, well, okay, we'll buy your salmonella chicken, but like, we're not going to stop trading with a major manufacturing hub. As far as capitulating and dialing back the tariffs regime, I mean, he didn't really get anything in return. So this was just an incredibly stupid thing that he did that was an exercise in futility. And as I told you, China would come to the table to after a period of instability, that every outlet is going to present as China caving to the brave and mighty American art of the deal guy, Donald Trump, as the New York Times did this morning, predictably. China is now coming back to the table to reassert stability in terms of global trade.
President's trade war, and news breaking overnight that China and the U.S. have reached a short-term agreement. Our senior political correspondent, BlueSky, is tracking the latest on this trade.
Hardpoint. Use of deadly force has been approved.
In talks between the world's two largest economies, but it's also a dramatic retreat from President.
Hostiles have the hard point. Hostiles have captured the hard point. Hard point is secure.
We have reached
Hostiles have the hard point.
agreement on a 90-day pause and substantially moved down the tariff levels.
The U.S. agreed to roll back its steep 145% tariff on Chinese imports to
Hard point
30%.
identified.
There is something really interesting about how the New York Times very quickly wrote a report on how China was on the verge of failure and on the verge of collapse.
Hard
and
point
that
is
Donald
active.
Trump's actions actually caused them to capitulate and come to the table and backtrack on everything. And it's like, I don't know how
Hard point
you can
locked down.
see it as that. Also, you are the motherfucking New York Times. Why are you saying that? Here's Bloomberg Business with a very different and clear-cut approach. Saying Xi Jinping's decision to stand his ground against Donald Trump could hardly have gone any better for the Chinese leader.
Hostiles have captured the hard point. Hostile UAV established overhead.
One thing actually, and that is their inherent Western bias. Their refusal to understand how the Chinese government entertain China as a reasonable state actor.
Enemy
instead of
RCXD
this
detected.
belligerent state that is constantly on the verge of collapse.
Hard point
I'm telling you
located.
right now, this is the reason why a lot of Western analysts who are incredibly well-read routinely fail to call
Hard point active. Hostiles have the hard point.
can actually call ahead of time what is going to take place. I'm not like brilliant or anything. I don't have the gift of foresight.
Hard point is secure.
I simply am looking at the situation. China is on the verge of collapse as this like
Taking fire!
Enemy care package above. Enemy napalm strike incoming.
Based on what?
Hostiles
What forces are making them crumble?
Hard point locked down. Hostile care packages. Hard point identified.
Not going out.
Hard point is active. Hostiles have the hard point.
Stupid and wrong way to just use the
Let's go!
Hostile RCXD in your AO.
shocked if they actually took an approach that said like
Hard point is secure. Hostiles have captured the hard point.
papers, they are the one that routinely does fantastic coverage both on
They got an archangel! Enemy spring mine!
Hard point located. Hard point locked down.
breakdown in trade between
Hardpoint is secure.
Donald Trump's inauguration and the launch of the tariff war. The talks
Enemy RCXD detected.
agreeing a ceasefire that would slash respective tariffs by 115 percentage points for 9 days. Despite question a significant
Hostiles have the hard point.
Washington flinched first. Trump on Monday claimed victory, saying he had engineered a total reset with China. Bro, who started it? Trump dick riders were like, oh, tariffs are going to be actually. And then when he reversed all the universal tariffs.
Hardpoint identified.
Hostile field upgrade!
Hardpoint is active. Hostiles have captured the hardpoint.
Said on social media that the deal was a great victory for China. The U.S. said one popular Chinese social media post of the deal. Economists agreed that the U.S. might have overplayed its
hardpoint lockdown.
Too quickly and too high. The U.S. blinked first, said Garcia Herrero, Chief Asia Pacific.
Enemy deleted.
It thought it could raise.
Eyes on it.
They unwound the levies in Geneva, suggested the trade war was
Net call, napalm strike, inbound. Enemy care package above. Hardpoint located. Hostiles have the hardpoint.
Chinese negotiators still have more work to do.
Hostiles have captured the hardpoint.
On any other country. Capital Economics calculated the total U.S. tariffs on Chinese goods would remain about 40% after the ceasefire with Chinese tariffs.
Hostiles have the hardpoint. Watchdog Hilo incoming on your location. Hardpoint identified.
CSIS, a think tank. Markets can breathe a temporary sigh of relief, but we're nowhere near out of the woods. Ahead of the talks, Besant and a high level of tension.
Hardpoint is active. Hardpoint locked down.
China trade. Narrowed the gap sufficiently. Extremely price competitive manufacturers to remain in business with the U.S. Alfredo Montefar-Helou, head of the China Center of the Conference Board think tank in New York, said it would have been impossible for Chinese producers to offset 145% tariffs imposed by the U.S., but at 30%, I think most Chinese imports in the U.S. would be before the talks in Geneva.
Hostiles have captured the hardpoint.
Broad economic and trade deals.
Hey, heavy lethal!
Hardpoint is secure.
Incoming!
Quantities of commodities are just
get back here!
Hardpoint located. Hostile RCXD in your AO.
The U.S. cannot beat China. Let's just cut the brass tacks here.
Hardpoint active.
Why? Why can't the U.S. beat China? Economically, politically,
Hardpoint lockdown.
any of it. Because China does not have a parasitic class of billionaires who are just fucking this country and taking everything. You know, guaranteed, Chairman Xi probably has no money. He doesn't need money. Nobody in China, quote unquote, needs money. They're making money. There are rich people. But at the end of the day, they all have to answer to the people. If you consider the CCP a representative of the people at large.
Hardpoint is secure.
That's arguable, but they're definitely more of a representation of the common person than any billionaire in the United States is. Hands down, period. And as long as we have these billionaire parasites which do nothing but extract absurd amount of wealth from society, should be money that could be going into like making things better, making life easier for normal people, but no. They take a lion's share, and then when people are like, hey, can we have some, they're kind of like, well, there's no money. Government's broke, can't do it. Where are we gonna get the money? It's sickening, but gives me faith because we can't, because China doesn't have that. Period. China does not have like an upper class, a money class that's basically just parasitic. That is only rich because they own shit, not because they do shit.
Hardpoint active.
And those people should be expropriated. I mean, they do exist. I mean, they just don't have, I mean, there are super rich people in China. There's bankers, there's, you know, I mean, there's big business, but like, they can't get away with everything. They certainly don't run the shit. If they ran the shit, yeah, they wouldn't be getting executed for corruption. Bankers and such in China. If the bankers in China were in charge, none of them would be getting executed, but they're getting executed, so guess who's in charge?
Your tactics aren't working. Find another way.
And we can't beat that. As long as we have Zuckerberg's, Musk's, fucking Bezos's,
hardpoint locked down.
Just hoarding society's wealth.
Hardpoint is active.
So they can just essentially for their own personal social security, which is beyond social security, it's power. It's absurd amounts of power. They have so much money that they have more money than anyone could spend. I mean, it's enough money to like fund a whole nation, let alone a single person being able to spend all that is an absurd idea. The fact that they have that kind of money is absurd. That's what I'm saying. And they should be expropriated. Those people should not have power. We need to have an economy that like benefits everybody instead of just those assholes, instead of just Musk and Zuckerberg. Because under capitalism, that's the gauge of success. If those assholes are making a shit ton of money, that means everything's fine. Even though if wages are down and people are getting laid off. Bingo. That don't matter. The rich people are making money. Everything's good. We're good.
Hardpoint active. Hardpoint locked down.
Can't be like that. We can't. I mean, China doesn't work like that, and we can't compete. Get back here. And I think they know that. I think they know eventually they're hoping that their absurd amount of wealth will shield them from the people's wrath. It won't. We'll find you. Bezos, Zuckerberg, Musk, there's the guy from Google who no one really talks about much because he keeps his head low, I guess. The AI motherfuckers, all these assholes. Should we? I mean, they have all the power in the world. They have all the money. They have more money than anyone could spend. Why? So they personally can be happy and be secure. Fuck them. What about the rest of us? And they get their social security off of our labor. We make the money for them. All they have to do is sit there while fucking people making nothing to sell their shit, to deliver their shit. They have to go. If we're gonna make it, if America's gonna be great, those billionaires have got to go. All their money should be taken from them. Them as individuals should be, I don't know, ground into biofuel. And their money should be used to end economic security, give everyone an education, housing, and make sure there's no homelessness. Everyone's got a roof over their head. Everyone's got, no one's hungry. There's no arguments between a husband and a wife over the bills and money and shit because everyone's fine. Everything's secure. There's no worries. The only reason why we don't have that is because of billionaires like Musk, Bezos, Zuckerberg, and the sake, and they'll come up with all the dog shit in the world to justify their absurd wealth. But at the end of the day, it's so they take care of themselves. I say fuck you.
You know what Langley expects. Get it done.
Just take out one of those assholes and see the benefits for society, and then we're gonna get a taste. We're gonna be like, let's take out another asshole.
Move her.
Who is Zuckerberg? Wow, his wealth really helped out society. Who else is there? Oh, Bezos. Yeah, okay, but then Musk, you next, bitch. And then all these assholes. I mean, you know what? Let's just take all the billionaires' money. There's only like a few thousand, 3,000 billionaires in the world. You can fit them all in one room. Let's put them all in one room.
We've taken the lead.
And liquidate them.
We're winning.
Revenge is my middle fucking name.
Take every billionaire on Earth, round them up, and turn them into jelly. And take their money and make the world good. Assholes. Rich people I hate all rich people. That's it, rich people. I hate them. If you're rich, you're talking, I mean, I know Hassan's rich, but he's not a capitalist. But I definitely would be doing everything I can to put my money. I wouldn't. If I was Hassan, I wouldn't have such conspicuous consumption. It's his choice. It's his right. But honestly, it's not necessary, and it's gross. And it's like that money could be going somewhere else, like a better place. You could put all your money in a better place. If I had that kind of money, man, we'd be getting pretty close to revolution. That's all I'm saying.
Positive. Like, what are they going to do? Buy
TACOM, get a Hellstorm on my grid.
Yeah. Your pro-China propaganda is...
I'm telling you, America, let's just expropriate one of these fucking rich pricks. Let's get one of these billionaires. Let's just like you. You know, you can just despair. What happens to him? I don't know. He's had a pretty good life so far, so I don't think we should be that worried about it. And they've been living this life off of the backs of the people who work for them while they do nothing. Just take on one. I would say start from the top and get Musk, but let's get one. Let's get the least likable one. I would argue that either Zuckerberg or Bezos are the least likable billionaires in America, and we'll just liquidate them. Let's expropriate their fucking dumbasses, and just try it on for size. You know, and once we understand and see the benefits of this.
RCXD in your AO.
And there's going to be people who are like, we can't do that. They're lying. They're disingenuous, greedy, capitalist fuckhogs. They're full of shit. Never listen to them. Never listen to the capitalists. They are liars. They've never been right about anything. All they know, the only thing they're good at is exploiting. That's all. The only thing that capitalists can do well. They're not job makers. They don't even really accumulate wealth that great. They're just good at exploiting. Trickery, metaphysics. They're like priests.
Hostile scout pulse in your AO.
The idea that like they have a right to that amount of absurd wealth. It takes almost like like metaphysical religious beliefs in private property to think that that's correct. Be like, oh yeah, that's right. They earned it. Jeff Bezos deserves billions and billions of dollars from exploiting people and paying workers not. It's just that this is what capitalism is. You are extracting more wealth. You're extracting the wealth that workers are creating and not compensating properly. In fact, you treat it as if it's just a cost of doing business instead of a means to a better world. It means the world peace. That you look at it as like just something that's in the way of your profits, something you cut down on, instead of like this is the key to make humanity live, to go on. Capitalism should be done. Capitalism should be done. They know nothing. They're liars. All they do is exploit. We should take everything they have, give it to the people.
And tell you, serve you. He's next.
Hostile RCXD in your AO.
Than to make a assessment on cold, hard truths. The upside is the level of China.
EDR incoming.
China still face like it's not multiple defenses coming into the United States of America, but it is like they both try and start a trade war. So everybody's basically trying to be like, listen, economics caution the bilateral mission remains trouble with Trump's unpredictable policy meaning to try to diversify its exports market and try to stimulate more demand. Chinese exports also probably use the 90-day window.
Check off. As they're requesting napalm strike.
These would other surge in China's trade circles. Remains challenging due to the complex bilateral relationships that Robert Shake, economists at Morgan Stanley, hit a note. Yeah, China is
on my mark.
Congratulations, sir. Thank you so much.
You're being outplayed, Crimson One. Step it up.
With the details. Good morning, Lucas. What can you tell us?
Well, good afternoon from Riyadh, guys. Before President Trump arrives here in Saudi Arabia tomorrow morning, big news on the trade deal has been announced.
We come to agreement that our tariff rate will go down to 10% on the United States side, so it goes down 115%. We enter into a 90-day pause period for negotiations, which both the China and the United States are very committed to. And the Chinese on their side also go down 10% to 10%, and they remove the countermeasures that they have.
So tariffs are being slashed, and here's President Trump's Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent alongside Geneva.
Neither side wants a decoupling, and what had occurred.
That's weird.
That's news to me because
it felt like this entire process was so that we could do the decoupling.
I like that.
I like that these guys are like, there's no decoupling. We didn't
mean that when we said it over and
over and over.
And when we
made those demands
to our trade
partners,
that was just
a joke. We were thinking about that. One of the funniest Trump still got it moments was when he was talking about price caps, essentially, and I hate to give it to the guy, admin, falsely taking it to the goddamn airport, but I call balls and strikes, as I said in my detention interrogation, whatever you want to call it. He still got it. Okay, he still got that fastball, baby. Look, this is a fantastic example of a man who still got it. 56 seconds.
The fat shot.
He takes the fat shot.
And he said, President, he calls me, he used to call me Donald, now he calls me President, so that's nice respect. But he's a rough guy, smart guy. Very successful, very rich. I wouldn't because he's got comments. President, could I ask you a question? What? I'm in London. And I just finished for this drug I take. I said,
It's not working.
Dude, amazing. No notes. 10-10. Also, the other side of the story that I find insane is that like these global multinational conglomerate owning billionaires are shocked at the price disparity in the European markets for what which is socialized medicine, an important aspect of socialized medicine. It's like really that's what it took for you to comprehend that like that reminds me that some of these guys but they're more stupid than they are deliberately evil. Because you operate under the assumption that like everyone's aware of these things that I'm aware of, right? And then you encounter a story like this, and you're like, what the? How is this news to you, man? God damn, how do you become a billionaire? How is this possible? Like, what a perfect demonstration that meritocracy is just a lie. It's just an abject lie that you can have a guy who is a multi-billionaire, a titan of the comics industry. This is that's insane. Oh my God. I've only commentary slots. Okay. Like I sometimes fail for the position of authority fallacy because deep down inside, I also I guess have some kind of commitment to institutions and their infallibility. So I assume that these guys are sharp, smart, and actually presenting themselves as like oblivious. But in fact, they are completely aware of the unjustifiable structures that they have played a role in cementing. And then you hear a story like this, and you're like, oh no, they're just dumb. Like they're actually dumb. They're actually Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 Remastered is here. What's up, guys? This is Music, and welcome to Horizon Modern Warfare, specifically the Night Shade DLC, which in essence is the original Modern Warfare Remastered. Now, you guys might remember last year we had a project called H2N, which was the original Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer remastered, and that mod was amazing. However, Activision sent a cease and desist and got shut down because they were afraid that it was going to interfere with you guys might remember that not that long after the H2N shut down, I covered a project called BO6, which is probably looking a little familiar right now.
Is Horizon Modern Warfare?
That's right, lads. The cat's out of the bag. Horizon Modern Warfare is still here, and the spirit of H2N lives on. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you guys how you can get access to Horizon Modern Warfare and also play the Night Shade DLC, which is the original Modern Warfare 3 multiplayer remastered. Now, admittedly, this is my first time on the Horizon Modern Warfare plan. Specifically, I really was on Wiki 2 when I made that last video. So I'm going to go over some first-time setup stuff, which is not only going to be useful for me as I'm playing, but also for you guys who are following along. And overall, we're going to see what the Night Shade DLC is all about. So yeah, you guys are going to see some more OG culture stuff. Make sure to drop a like, subscribe, and new. So let's kick off this video by showing you guys how you can actually download and get access to Horizon Modern Warfare. I'll have a link in the description to their website. It's horizonmw.org. And as you can see, you can just download the launcher right here. But if you click the Learn More button, it will actually just really explain to you how you can actually play this. Click the Learn More button to take you to this page where
just shows you how to install Verizon Modern Warfare. If you look at the instructions, it says make sure you have the C++ redistributables needed from the launcher. By installing the following CIO package, which I didn't do this, and I'm pretty sure my game's gonna run just fine, but you can click this link, download this if you don't have it. You do have to skip this next step. The next step is to purchase Modern Warfare Remastered on Steam and install the multiplayer portion of it. So if you already own MWR on Steam, all you have to do is install the multiplayer and then run it at least once, and you should be good to go. If you don't own Modern Warfare Remastered on Steam, you're going to have to in order to play this mod. Once you've done that, you can go ahead and download the Horizon Modern Warfare launcher from the download page, which again is just on the home page. You can click download now. The next step says to unpack all the files inside the zip archive into their own folder anywhere that isn't the directory of the game. So I'll show you guys what that looks like. So in your downloads folder, the HMW launcher should look something like this. If you go ahead and right click, if you go ahead and insert it, you can Windows extraction, and just go ahead and
Beautiful deals. Let's talk about with China.
Now, I don't have a TikTok, y'all, but I will say I'm a fan of TikTok.
I really like
it because it's a way for things that people like to get recycled and get liked. For example, there were some songs I liked that came out. I was one of very few people who came out, and then 2 years later it randomly blows up and they're on the radio and shit. The reason is because somebody is TikTok went viral. What song is that? I like that song. And it has a second life. That happened with some Miguel song. I don't know how many of you guys know the R&B singer Miguel, so he had a song.
Earn elimination medals to increase your combo score.
On the radio a lot back then. Randomly last year, it was all over the place again. I was like, what the fuck happened here? It's because there were some TikToks that had that song. Like, had that song and made it trend again, made it popular again, they played it on the radio again. So I like that element in TikTok. This is something we never had before. Usually, if it's a song or a movie, a clip or whatever, it blows up. It just has that initial lifespan that it just goes away and everybody's gone. Right now, you can recycle stuff. That's what TikTok does. Having said that, there's a clip that just went viral on TikTok of white guys who told my wife, Crystal Ball, she went on Real Time with Bill Maher and really just absolutely humiliated him. He didn't understand basic facts about something, and she ran circles around him. So I guess what happened is somebody posted this on TikTok and came back up. Somebody posted it, went mega viral on TikTok, and it made its way to Twitter, and then I've seen it all over my feed. She's seen it all over her feed. So I wanted to go back and listen to this because not only will you enjoy it for what it is, but I can also give you some background stuff because I was there, and I can tell you what went on during the trip and after the trip. Quite a bit. So here's the moment. This was after COVID, and you're talking about what happened during COVID, and Crystal just ends Bill Maher.
For this inflationary problem is because we put too much money into the economy, there's way too much government spending, and that's why we have inflation. So that's the large part of that.
That is economics. That is not basic economics. We had this thing called a pandemic. We had.
By the way, Crystal says that's not basic economics. Just so we're clear, he has a degree in economics. So she knows better than this woman who she's sitting next to.
That is not basic economics. We had this thing called a pandemic. We had a supply chain crisis, and oh, by the way, there's Florida trade. So to act like the only reason we have problems is because people got a little bit of money in their bank account is just not.
A little bit of money. We got more than we spent in World War II. So you don't act like.
Hold on.
Don't act like you said. Don't act like we had to react to the pandemic exactly the way we did. We had to spend $6 trillion.
Okay, but how about the trillions that the Federal Reserve shot at Wall Street? For some reason, people don't get upset about that, and that fueled the trillions of dollars the Federal Reserve shot at Wall Street, shut down the stock market and the bond market. No one gets upset about that, even though that was a massive factor in inflation. Well, we're talking about buying assets, buying stocks, buying bonds, buying treasury bills, so that they expand the balance sheet. This is during the crisis, when the stock market crashed. That is what the Fed did. They went into action. They shot trillions of dollars.
It didn't crash during that.
It crashed. It crashed, and the Fed came in and backed up, and that's what happened. So that's what I'm saying. No, it crashed. Go back and look at it. It fell on a cliff. The treasury bond market stopped functioning, and the Fed took extraordinary actions never taken in history. Somehow no one gets upset. Somehow nobody gets upset about the rich people who got tons of money, tons of support, way more than working class people did. But oh my God, people were able to feed their kids, man, a little bit. It's the worst thing in the world. That is one small part of the inflation story, and it's, by the way, not the only thing that we can deal with to get out of this.
Getting history. I was there live. Like, first of all, it was embarrassing because his show, like, they stacked the audience full, obviously, the more fans they can find. But they tell you at the beginning, like, all right, guys, remember, this is a comedy show, and you got a laugh sign, you got a laugh sign, when it lights up, your darkness to laugh and to applause. And so he's so and so, like, he's right? And in this moment, when you host a political show, and you don't remember when the stock market fell off the fucking cliff, and there was a crisis, and, like, instantly,
the Fed went in
there
and pumped
trillions.
And to
her point, he literally doesn't even remember it. But that's right. Bill Maher was getting mad at government bailouts for working Americans who were struggling and needed some relief. He's got nothing to say about the trillions that, in the blink of an eye, they put it in the stock market, right? So he proves her point absolutely perfect.
But look,
this moment is what people need to understand about this moment.
Like I said,
I was there. And I can tell you. So me and Crystal were recording, like, behind the scenes stuff, and, like, we walked into the studio.
You know, I was recording videos and stuff, and I spliced together a compilation after the fact. And I threw it up on YouTube. And I forget. I remember it was like a 15-minute video or something.
But it shows me and her and traveling and going to the studio. I talked to her before, and I talked to her after. I got some clips during the show. You know, recording them talking, right? And posted it. And so when we get back from the LA trip, I upload it. And like within a day,
Crystal gets
like an angry text.
And it's the people
and they're like
furious over the fact that we're behind some behind. They're like, did Subway treat us, invited you on this show and this stuff, and you didn't get posted, and
this and that. And we're thinking, like, shit, we're thinking, like, this like behind the scenes video. So I pulled the video down, but this man was so thoroughly humiliated by this moment that his whole team had like a vendetta against us. For number one, her owning him. But also, that video that I posted, which shows, like, all behind the scenes stuff. And by the way, I should be here also in that video. We talk about this moment afterwards. And we're talking like, that's so crazy. You built a political show, and you don't remember when the Fed took extraordinary action during COVID and shot millions at the stock market. And again, to your point, nobody complains about that. People only complain about the help that regular people got, which they desperately needed and we could do without. And so we were sort of like mocking him and laughing at him in the video, like, how did we not know that? That's so crazy.
And there's no doubt
that
his team
or maybe even him saw that. And then we got the angry email or angry text messages. It was like, you got to pull that down out here. It was like, you know, violated the rules of the club. You're not allowed out here. You're not on the show anymore. Learn your fucking lesson yet? You know, it's like, okay. Like, this is what we do, right? We're actual independent media, so, like, we record our own things, we post our own things, and that's how it works. It's not, like, I don't have a boss. You know, we do whatever the fuck we want, and clearly, this mindset, this approach, right?
Because we're just better than.
By the way, I met Bill this time, too. Afterwards, they had some little get-together of
me, Crystal, and
whoever the other guests were, specialists, staffers, that work on the show. And I remember distinctly, even at this time, and this was, I forget what year this was, but it was before Bill had really done this bold heel turn where he snuggles up to MAGA and everyone calls himself a centrist and
He does
bashing on a regular basis. I remember distinctly meeting him and talking to him. He brought up trans people out of nowhere. He brought up trans people.
And he was shitting on
trans people.
And he
was saying like, I'm all for oppressed, but I'm not in favor of people cutting their dicks off, okay?
And I
remember thinking like, this guy is like motivated by wokeness hatred and trans hatred more than anything else, right? Very clear
in meeting him. So, man,
what a great
Not much time left. Put this to bed.
And yes, wondering why, hey, she's been invited back on after.
It doesn't look like
she's going to. Well, this is why. These people truly are like little sensitive bitches. And not believe them, embarrass them, they don't have, they do not think he's in a little hermetically sealed bubble over there. So the idea that, I'm all about conversations and discussions and debates, okay? I like free speech and open conversation. I don't like cancel culture and censorship, okay? That is such bullshit. Does the best he can to make his show a hug box, to make himself always look like he's the victor. That I know for a fact, and now you know it. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Hit the bell as well for notifications
They were already dead. Haven't realized. Good job.
Oh, hell yeah! That's how it's done. For massive deals, doing a contract with Marvel right now, $1 million for the entire company. To
Seriously, this is not new. It's been
great team crash out. I would take an offer from
you.
Worst presentation ever. Oh, that was. The main EU Shark Tank is the best show on TV, and it's easy to see why. It has a predictable yet entertaining format with plenty of drama, suspense, and jaw-dropping moments that leave you glued to your screen. Something that's apparent from their views on YouTube alone. What's most people don't realize, however, is that beneath the show's spectacle lies a world of manipulation, exploitation, and life-threatening scams. I am the internet anarchist. I create weekly YouTube documentaries, and today we'll be doing a deep dive into the dark underbelly of Shark Tank, everything wrong with the show, its sharks, and the contestants. Now, some of these missteps can be chalked up to nothing but mistakes, but as you'll see by the end of this video, a few of them were deliberate offenses that ended up ruining lives.
Wiped out our business bank account. There was about $100,000 in there at the time. And he mailed us a check for $8,000.
Those who haven't seen the show before, Shark Tank is a reality TV show where aspiring entrepreneurs pitch their business idea to a panel of wealthy investors known as sharks. Hopes of securing a life-changing deal, the show first premiered in 2009 as the American adaptation of the Japanese show Tigers of Money. The same Japanese show inspired the UK's Dragon's Den as well. While the concept was quite similar, the mere idea of someone potentially making it big thanks to the shark's investment was surprisingly gripping. Viewers also tuned in for every episode to see what creative ideas or products contestants would bring up.
Now introducing the toy of the future.
The American version also cut down the hours of boring business negotiations into a more fast-paced, high-stakes back and forth between the sharks and the entrepreneurs. This helped Shark Tank gain massive appeal, making it more and more popular with each new season. However, despite its immense popularity, the show has some flaws that are impossible to overlook. For starters, the sharks aren't nearly as shrewd as they claim to be. Sure, they have the business narrative, just like the massively.
The scrub daddy.
Take the scrub daddy. You're gonna see it's just gonna attack right into that burned on nest, scrubbing it right off. And remember, I'm just using water here. There's no chemicals in it, and it's gonna cut right through that. It won't scratch any of your surfaces, but it will clean them beautifully. Now, Scrub Daddy's not really smiling anymore. So I'm gonna put him here in the roller. In just a couple seconds. Voila.
He's back to bright, fresh, and clean every time. Rick Reiner invested over $200,000 for a 20% stake in the company, and it paid off. Got a deal.
Way to go.
Scrub Daddy became a bigger success than Laurie would have ever imagined. By 2024, it had already sold over $700 million worth of products. Unfortunately, for a show about experienced rich business people making smart investments, Scrub Daddy is a rare exception rather than the rule. There are the odd successes here and there, but so many more investments crumble the moment the publicity from a Shark Tank appearance fades away. However, even more frustrating than the failed deals, the ones that all the sharks rejected, only for those companies to explode in popularity and to prove them all wrong. Like the Lip Balm, a company selling colorful and bright lipsticks. During their pitch, none of the sharks showed any interest in the company, assuming that it would not succeed. Kevin O'Leary even went as far as calling one of the founders cockroaches for what he thought was a terrible idea. You can't get share. If anybody thought you could sell a Korean lipstick, they do it. They already have the shelf space. They just add another color. They would crush you like the colorful cockroaches you are. You only have so many minutes on our don't waste them trying to sell lipstick. I'm out. Oh, Kevin, they couldn't be more wrong. Not only is the lip gloss a operation with millions of units sold since their inception, other investors saw the potential of the sharks overlooked, allowing the company to
grand total of nearly $16 million in funding.
However, the lip bar and every other missed opportunity pales in comparison to arguable
biggest fumble in Shark Tank history.
Back in 2013, a company named Doorbot received its chance to shine on Shark Tank. The founder spent the last $20,000 in his pockets to prepare an elaborate set for his pitch on the show. More importantly, the product he was offering also seemed like quite the innovation. It was one of the first smart doorbells in the world, allowing people to easily see who was at the door before opening. Introducing the Doorbot, the first ever video doorbell built for the smartphone. Doorbot you can see.
Domination. We have our orders.
Jamie,
See it
the
through.
world's creator, was quite confident in his product.
Taking Alpha.
The price of getting a deal. However, this confidence faded away quickly when the sharks failed to see the potential of his company and started dropping out like flies.
I just don't think it's for me. I'm out. But you're pricing out
$199. That price point
is going to start dropping.
For
that reason.
Do that.
Company's worth $7 million.
Using 8.
I just don't see that progression. If Jamie had to listen to the sharks, he would have believed his product was worthless. Then he got it together. But he branded the company along the way. Then, in 2018, something happened that none of the sharks saw coming.
Losing
Ring
B.
was acquired by Amazon for $1 billion. Ring also went on to become the reason for over 20% of American homes having a video doorbell in 2023, and just 4% in 2017. Simply, Ring became a big success that any of the sharks ever gave its credit for. As a commenter on YouTube pointed out, craziest part of all of this is a few seasons later, going to get the sharks with
Enemy UAV inbound.
In the end, Jamie liked it about how things played out, but what did he actually say to the deal? Well, there's a good chance that nothing would have changed, because as it turns out, many of the deals you see on the show don't actually happen. This might sound unbelievable, but it's true. There are so many examples of deals that happen on air, only to fall apart after the cameras have stopped rolling. One of the most common reasons behind these failed deals is sadly the sharks' greed. Take Sugar Hotel, for example. Jelly appeared on Shark Tank in March 2013. The two children town. Their invention allowed kids to run around after hearing about their struggle after the 2008 recession and the passion she put into this project, Lori agreed to a deal.
I love your drive. I love your passion. I relate to you. I've been accumulating you for years, and I know what it means to. I started making everything I
$75,000 for 25% equity, $25,000 more than she had originally asked for. This is a true scenario of the Shark Tank contestant. The best outcome that was from the shelling what seemed like an act of kindness from Warren to the entire business. After the camera started rolling, Warren went back on her word almost immediately. She changed the deal and started asking for a lot more equity in the business. Shelling had to decline the offer, resulting in a loss her business never recovered from. This isn't an isolated example either. There are many other companies that never received the cash they were promised on the show for similar reasons. That said, throwing back on deals is far from the worst thing the Sharks have done to some contestants.
I can't put in any more
In December of 2013, former American football player Al Baker went on Shark Tank to secure an investment for his struggling business.
I'm out of it. Avon, Ohio. I'm seeking $300,000.
Things went surprisingly well for Al. The Sharks plugged his ribs, and he ended up walking away with a team of Damon and John. But before he had the chance to celebrate his victory with his family, things didn't turn for the worse. At first, things seemed fine on the surface. The business stayed operational for many years. They were rating it as a multi-million-dollar success. However, in 2023, an LA Times article came out in which Al and his family talked about the struggle they had to face ever since signing with Damon on Shark Tank. It started with Damon changing the terms of the deal from $300,000 for 30% to just $100,000 for 35%. Al, however, felt pressure to accept the new terms, knowing his business's success stating, "We're in that environment. You're not asking a whole lot of questions. It's Damon John. My wife and daughter would have been me ceremony signing this. Unfortunately, this was only the beginning of Al's hardships. Shortly after he agreed to the finalist deal, Damon appointed his friend Nick Holzapfel to handle the tech side of things, describing him as a quote, internet genius, and putting him in charge of the website, online marketing, and funds management. This backfired almost immediately when the company's website went live after 3 hours before the Shark Tank episode aired on TV. And while it worked, they had to refund 40% of the initial audience because they failed to set up sales tags on the website. However, this was nothing compared to his second transgression. Damon's left Nate in charge of the accounting, but when Al and his wife asked for financial reports of their business, when they complained to Damon about this, he shrugged them off completely, stating, "I'm not asking you to this here, but, this is business." They eventually managed to push Nate out of the company, only to end up getting screwed over even worse.
Once we were able to finally have Nate removed from our business, wiped out our business bank account, there was about $100,000 and we mailed us a check for $8,000. And we requested information on that, a breakdown of where the funds went, and we never received it.
As for Damon, he refused to take any responsibility for what was basically robbery, claiming that Nate, quote, deserved it. In the meantime, Damon also kept presenting Alabama Baker as his biggest by over $60 million in sales. However, Al claims that his family only received 4% of that $16 million. They also received just $2,900 net profit from a $5.8 million deal with Hardee's. They were clearly getting ripped off by Damon. The Baker family still tried to figure things out peacefully, only to get slapped in the face with a lawsuit.
$5.8 million deal. We're thinking he's gonna align with us to try to figure out where the money is. Like, a voicemail where this money went for $5.8 million. Then in the John band together with the co-packer selling secrets to file a lawsuit against us because we wanted to move forward with a subway deal.
They eventually came to a settlement with Damon. Also decided confidentiality agreement, which simply is they can't tell anyone about what Damon did to their business. However, the legal fees from this lawsuit made the Baker family lose their home, restaurant, and even their food run. Left with no other option, the Bakers decided to break this confidentiality agreement and come out with everything in this story. Steve, as fans of the show were horrified by Damon's treatment of a lovely entrepreneurial family, with one person writing, I got teary-eyed listening to Vega's story. Watching a millionaire lender lose everything with just a pocket extra $1 million is disgusting. There is absolutely no justification for them being shut out of their own business like that. And Greg God was the neighbor to deny any God. Necessarily time on Baker and Rick Baker.
Taking B.
Without a shot. And I guess it's not true. I know he's not doing this. And also, yourself, no matter what position you're in, just like I am. Don't sit back and think, oh, the truth is going to set us free because I have the truth, but I'm going to come to the county and I
Taking Bravo underway.
Move it!
Zone A. They're taking C. Securing Alpha.
These people now
comments and preventing them from posting any more. Something fancy
Securing Zone A.
either. Damon is a child who used the minis for war. Fortunately, they did receive some settlement money